All right, guys, coming back to you from the Garage of Awesomeness with my new to me 5th gen Ram 2500. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of clay bar work on it just to kind of get the surface prepped for some paint correction and ceramic coating and all that kind of stuff, because obviously winter's not too far away actually up here in Colorado. So this morning I started off with spraying the whole truck down with I believe it's some kind of iron remover, something like that. You know, let it sit on the truck for a couple minutes, changes colors, you know, takes all that kind of stuff off, but it never really gets 100% of the crud off the paint. So I did that, washed the truck, rinsed it off pretty rigorously, and now I'm home in my garage with you guys. So let me show you. So to kind of finish that up, as far as getting the paint as clean as I possibly can prior to just getting to work on this thing, I do use a couple different products. I have a Meguiar's quick detailer that I use in conjunction with this cool little Mother's kind of hand clay bar kind of deal. I do have regular clay bars for this thing, which I will probably end up using as well. I do like that just because it's a little bit easier to use, a little bit easier to warm up kind of on the go, and I don't have to constantly like knead the clay like I do with my other clay bars, which do work very well. Just trying something a little bit different. I use this setup on my last couple of trucks and it works phenomenal. So I'm gonna get started on this. I'm gonna do it in sections. One thing that I can recommend with you know, clay barring anything is work in kind of small sections. Make sure you get that section that you're started on done the way that you want it, then move on to the next. So for example, for me today, at least this morning, prior to me going into work, because yes, I do have to work later on today, which helps me kind of with all this stuff. So today I'm going to be working on the bed of the truck. So I'm basically going to start back here on the passenger side, which really doesn't look too bad, obviously. If you'd have seen it earlier, it actually still didn't look too bad. I'm just probably being a little bit more OCD, but irregardless, I'm going to start on the passenger side of the bed, work my way from the front of the bed down to the back, tailgate, and then up the driver's side. My goal is to get the bed done and the rear bumper done this morning, and then later on this week when I have a bit more time, get the cab cleaned up and get the cab done as well. And then I'll do the front of the truck, you know, the front fenders, the front bumper, the hood, and all that good stuff too. So unfortunately, I don't have a ton of time to try to just get the entire truck knocked out, which trust me, I wish I could, but I don't have the time to, so I'm gonna make do with what I've got. So for starters, what I'm gonna do is basically spray this stuff on the Meguiar's quick detailer. I'm gonna make some passes with this Mother's pad right here, and then kind of wipe it off to finish it up for now until I can actually get the entire truck done at one time. I will come back over it with a Meguiar's kind of a ceramic quick detailer, which I'll be honest with you, does work very, very well. Just to kind of give it a nice shine, kind of protect the paint in the interim until I can get everything finished up on the cab, and then get to work on the paint correction and ceramic coating and all that good stuff. So in the not so distant future, I am gonna probably start tackling underneath the truck, just as an FYI. So for those that wanna know how I've done it in the past, obviously this is a brand new truck. You can do it with something that's got some miles on it. I have done it prior to, and it did work out well, but what I'm referring to is getting underneath all cleaned up. So as far as what that entails, basically getting the wheel liners cleaned up and ceramic coated so they're nice. So it's super easy to maintain them and get them, you know, basically looking like the rest of the truck. And then I'm going to work on the frame. Now, in some of the 2500s I've had in the past, I have relocated this harness. I don't know if you guys can see it, this harness right here, to actually the inside top of the frame rail. So A, it's still kind of out of, you know, harm's way, so to speak, and B, it just kind of cleans up in the wheel well itself. And then I've got some plugs and some kind of like plastic trim pieces that I'll go through and kind of fill some of those remaining openings left by said harness. So whole nother video, but it should be fun. And then obviously I'll start waiting until hopefully parts start arriving this week and get some more videos of me putting this thing together. So I am pretty excited. Not gonna go very crazy with this one. I just want something clean that sits and rides really nice and just has a look that is kind of my own. So I'll get started on this and I'll show you guys here in a second. I'm gonna set up the camera so you can kind of watch to see kind of how I do it. There's nothing crazy to it. It's not difficult to do. And I can tell you, even in some of the trucks that I've had in the past, you know, I had a 2016 Mega Cab that had 76,000 miles on it when I got it. Lived a bit rougher life, but I can tell you the biggest difference that I made on that truck as far as aesthetically goes after having it for not too long was clay bar in the truck and getting all the paint contaminants, all the crud off of it, and it really kind of helped bring back that shine of that Delmonico red on that Mega Cab that I had. So let me get the camera set up and I'll show you guys how to do this and how easy it really is. So stay tuned. So basically all I'm going to do here is literally spray this on. I'm not going to apply a ton of pressure with the clay bar, so to speak, because again, I don't want to leave any kind of marks or whatnot on the paint, but I just want to apply enough pressure, just kind of lightly drag it along the surface of it so that way it gets whatever's left on the paint off and leaves you with kind of a smooth, ready to go surface. So super easy. Not going to get super crazy with it, but just kind of want to get it coated so I don't miss any areas in there, and then just kind of go kind of like you're waxing it, so to speak, in small sections, right? And this is it. And you can kind of feel as you go over the paint, you know, I do spend a bit of time wiping this off as well, but you can feel the little whatever's left on the paint as you're kind of going over it. And I'll be honest with you, it's kind of a satisfying feeling because what you're left with is a clean, smooth surface. So now, take the other side of the rag, I'm just kind of wipe it off. Flip it inside out, just so I can make sure it's dry. And that's it. Now, knowing me, I'll probably get a bit closer to the paint, make sure I didn't miss anything. But I'll do that once I've gotten the entire side done, just so that way it's kind of just little spots that I may have missed. It happens, right? Obviously, there's a lot of surface area to cover on this thing. Again, another reason why I'm kind of doing it in sections, but it's super easy to do. Once I get done with this, like I said, I'll use the Meguiar ceramic detailer on it for now, just to kind of give it a little coating to it, a little added protection, and that's it. So I can get to the front section of the truck, you know, cab and the whole front end, and then I'll really get to work as far as the paint correction, ceramic coating goes, and then I'll get to work underneath the truck. But for now, I just want to get this thing looking as new, I guess, as you can say, as possible. So I'm going to just kind of continue on down below. And the nice thing I like about these pads too is, if you notice, they kind of have a little bit of a point to them. So in kind of some of these little areas and the body lines and whatnot, it does make it easier to kind of get in there comfortably, where you're not really kind of pressing down too hard, and you're able to get as much of the surface kind of wiped off and cleaned up as possible. So pretty easy to do, honestly. And even down here on kind of this little plastic, this, I guess some kind of PPF or something Ram puts on here from the factory, it does work great on that as well. And there you go. Super easy to do, guys. And just like that, this section is pretty much done. So again, not tough to do. Can it be time consuming? Yes. Is it worth it? In my opinion, yes. Because at the end of the day, I want this thing to look a certain way, and this will help me get there. So I'll show you. I don't really know if the camera kind of does it justice, but I mean, it did clean up what was left on there. There's no real little pieces of the, I guess what they call kind of rail dust that kind of get on the vehicles when they're in transport, and it's smooth. So I'll get the rest of the bedside done, get it sprayed down, and then move on to the back of the truck, bumper, tailgate, and move on to the driver's side, finish that bedside up, and head into work. But it's pretty easy, really, it is. Again, there's other forms of clay bars, right? I just prefer this one from others. It comes in a kit, which is real nice. So once I run out of this quick detailer, I do have the kit. In fact, if you want, let me show you. So I'm not sponsored by these guys by any means, but I have no problem sharing what I use with you guys and gals that I found works well for me. So might as well pass it on. But this is the kit that I get. It comes with obviously the clay bar in question. Comes with their own kind of ceramic detailer, which I have a couple bottles of, which works phenomenal. And then obviously a couple of microfiber towels to kind of help clean up the mess once you're done. So I got this at O'Reilly's, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't super expensive. And for what this yields results wise, for kind of a do-it-yourselfer, it's not a show truck, it's not anything crazy. I just want it to look as good as it can. This stuff works phenomenal. So I'll get done using this quick detailer. I'll move over to this that Mothers provides in their kit and get the rest of the truck done. But pretty awesome stuff. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. But I'm gonna get this thing finished up so I can get into work today. Have a good day.